Welcome back, everybody. This is Gem's Creative Space, and today we are catching up. This is the 4-deck challenge 3, and this is card number 32 with the theme of bird. And it's a bit of a catch up for me because I've just been away for a week or so, and I'm a little bit behind. But there we go, that's all right. This was the last card I did. This was card number 31. And it had the theme of rainbow. So my constant is a button. So I'll be incorporating a button today. And my carryover are going to be the letter stamps, which I used there. So here's my letter stamps. I'm going to be using those again this week. Put that to one side. Okay, as I say, our theme is birds. And I'm fortunate enough just to have been to Fiji for a week. And whilst I was there, I snapped this photograph of these beautiful little parrots. And at the time, I didn't really know what they were. And I've done a little bit of research since we came home. And I found out that this is actually the national bird of Fiji. And it's a Collared Lory, or in Fijian, it's known as a Kula. So I'm going to be using that today. And I'm probably going to fussy cut out these birds and do something with them on here. I've also got my bag of green scraps, and I'm going to use some of those to do a collaged background. I have a pile of, these are sort of tropical flower printables, and I was using those to create my travel journal before I went away. So I've got those left over, so they may be incorporated. And I've got a couple of little bits of wording here, which have come from an advertising brochure from which we picked up in Fiji. So I'm going to use all of those and see what we come up with. Sorry, my brain's still on holiday. We're going to see what we come up with. So, as I say, I'm going to start by collaging the background in green, and I won't make you watch all of that. But just as I start off and get myself together, I'll tell you a little bit about these birds, because I found out some quite interesting things. So, as I say, these are Collared Lories, or Kula, as they're known in Fiji, and these are actually the national bird of Fiji, which I just didn't know. We'd been to Fiji a couple of times and I didn't know this. And these birds are the only rainforest bird which have adapted to urban life, so they can be found in urban centres throughout Fiji, even in Suva, which is the capital and a really busy, noisy town. So that I thought that was quite interesting, and they're endemic to Fiji. And prior to colonisation, their feathers were highly prized by native Fijians, and they were in fact traded between the islands. So some of the other Pacific islands like Samoa and Tonga, there was actually a trade for their feathers. I do believe that has stopped now, but they're not endangered or anything. There's lots of them around, and yeah, even in these I photographed them actually in the resort where we were staying. There were beautiful gardens there with lots of trees, and we spotted them feeding up in the trees one day. So, right, I'm going to stop talking. I'll carry on with this. I will put the video on a faster speed because you don't need to see me creating collage. But we'll come back in a bit and see where we've got to. Okay guys, right, I have dried the collage off and I have just knocked it back slightly with a little bit of gesso just to soften the effect. And as you can see, I've also fussy cut out my 2 Kula, and I have also used some of those tropical print offs that I had, and I've cut out a few of the flowers. And I've used a scrap of green pattern paper and cut some big leaves, which I'm hoping to do something like this with. What else have I got? Oh, I've got a couple of pieces from an embossed piece of green paper. There's a bird one there, some numbers and a little stamp. I don't know whether I'll use those. And I have my words from the advertising thing that I showed you just now. And I have also, on a scrap of paper with my with the stamps that I used last week, I have printed Kula, the Fijian name for our Collared Lory. And I'm going to put all those together. I've also pulled out 3 different trays of buttons. Now I've got my wooden ones, my red ones, and my green ones. And I'm going to incorporate, I need to incorporate a button because that's my constant item. So let's see how we go. All right, everybody, so here we go. This is week 32. Our prompt was bird, and I have chosen to use a photo I took recently with some collage background, and this is the Kula, or the Collared Lory, and this is the national bird of Fiji. So there we go. I'm going to be posting another Full Deck Challenge 3 video in the next couple of days. As I say, I'm catching up. And next one, number 33, is song lyrics. So we will see where we go with that. But for now, thank you for watching. Ka kite anō.